How do you do your lead generation? Or you just get so many leads that you don't have to?
I get a lot of referrals, but ultimately, a lot of the referrals that I get are not really my target market. So I actually am in the process of setting up an email campaign with a. I've got a tech guy working on that right now, where we're just doing some um, automation and using AI to go out to research certain companies so that the emails that are going out to them are very customized. Like in the first paragraph, say I was really impressed by how you did whatever, and pull something off of a press release that they have or off of something else. So we've got that in progress. I just had an email from him yesterday that that I wanted to launch that campaign. I want to get everything finished up so we can launch it next week. And he said he wanted one more week. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But and I'm trying to do that one. That one's printing industry specific that we're going to start, and then we're going to pick another industry and do something else. And kind of across the country, not focused strictly in California. I'm in California. So rather than
Okay.
focusing strictly in California, um, we're looking very specifically for lower middle market companies that are all over the country. And part of the reason for that is because I have a printing company in LA that I'm selling, and based on that, we've had close to 200 inquiries, solid buyers that have money that want to spend, that are, I mean, they have pre-qual letters from lenders and all of that, and they can afford 5, 6, $7 million businesses. So that's what I'm looking for. Because since I've got that 200 of those buyers, it's like, let me go find a few things for them. I don't care where they are in the country. Let's just find them. So yeah, but I think in general, networking, obviously anything you're doing out on LinkedIn. I don't do direct mail. It's just costly, and I've never had much success from it. So I don't. It's kind of pointless to me. Cold calling is always the best way to get instant appointments. Um, I think early on in my career, I knew that if it was reliant on me, I would probably not have any deal flow. So I hired a cold caller, and he set appointments for me. He would call. He'd make 100 calls a day, and he'd set up anywhere from 2 to 4 appointments, pretty much every day. Now that was way back when. That was way back in 2006, 7, before. Now business owners are being called by lead gen companies, and they get 3, 4, 5 calls a week. So it's a little bit different. It's harder these days to get through. It's harder to get through to the business owners. It's harder, but when you have something to actually offer them, as opposed to just a lead gen company who really doesn't have anything to offer, and you can carry on a better conversation with them and so forth. It works. So, but I do like, I'm trying to automate as much as possible these days. Um, just because I mean, we have to wear so many hats, right? I mean, to facilitate a transaction, there's so between prospecting for sellers, and then you have listings, and now you're looking for buyers for those listings, and then you're communicating with them. And think about it. I mean, on one listing, I had 189 inquiries so far on that one listing, and it's a good solid business. Um, hasn't sold yet because the seller insists on selling the real estate with it, and the cash flow will support the sale of the business very well, but it won't support the simultaneous close of both the real estate and the business purchase. So,
Mhm.
we're having some difficulty with that, and I'm trying to get the seller to go back to his original position, which was he was willing to do like a 5-year lease and give a buyer of the business an option to buy. or a first right of refusal. So somewhere
why-
along the line, though, he changed his position and he wanted one buyer buying both, simultaneous close, and like I said, the business cash flow just won't support that. So we're stuck a little bit. And we could do sale leaseback, and I've talked to some investors about that. But the problem is they would want to increase the rent by another 10,000 a month. And so we'd go from 30,000 a month, which is about market rent, up to 40,000 a month, which is way over market rent. But nonetheless, that's what they would want in order to support the price that he wants for the building. So then that would destroy the value of the business, right? Because now you've got 120,000 less in cash flow because it's being allocated to rent. So I don't know. Anyhow, so you just have to get creative with things and keep going, keep moving on. But since I have all these great buyers, I want to find some other great printing companies to sell.
Yeah.
This
I
is
was
this
gonna
is
say-
almost
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
is
say, maybe you wanna do have him lease the property to himself, which will increase the real estate value. And then he'll get more for the real estate, but then, sell the business on the less.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. I mean, if you up the lease, it creates more value on the real estate side, but it gets offset by the decline in the business value, and so it really doesn't serve his purpose that way either. But we can do both. We can accomplish both of his goals on the sale price, the price he wants for the business, the price he wants for the real estate. We can do that as long as he's willing to allow the buyer of the business 2 to 3 years to buy the building. And so we've had LOIs that have been submitted, but so far he's just like, well, I want that simultaneous close. It's like, okay, well, you might be waiting for that for a long time. So, but yeah, I'm putting some options in front of him. John, you were going to say something?
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, look, Tanya, I think you're in a sweet spot. The right buyer is going to come in for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll have enough cash to pull the trigger on both sides. But what I wanted to really say was this would make a really cool case study. And I'm wondering if we as a group could like put some case studies together that we could share with clients maybe. I'm happy to include like a case study on my end, and then whoever's gone through some deals that that would consider would be a good case study for us to share and learn from. That's the real purpose behind it, is learn from these case studies. I'm happy to share my thought process on that as well.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I'd be happy to share information, all that. You wanna spearhead that, John?
I knew you were going to say that. So yeah, you know what? I will.
You just volunteered for it?
Yeah, I sure did, right? So yes, I'll go ahead and put something together and I'll shoot it to you. And then if you give it your blessing, then we could probably circulate it among the group.
All right. I mean, this group, we have different people that attend every couple of weeks. So
I love it.
there's
It's
a lot
getting
of people.
better. It's getting better and bigger. I love it. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Of course.